that I was dealing with. And so when you are living at that level, I was moving quite a bit of money at this time.
So this is some years ago now, because this was early on in your time infiltrating the cartels. First 2-3 years.
Yeah, so I think we're up to, late 2010s.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
All right. So you get in with this guy. Is that now the moment where your buddies back at the cartels go, yo, this hombre is a bad motherfucker. He can stay. And they start to really pull you in.
Right. So it's not as much like pulling in as like be a made member of our organization. It's not like they wanted to patch me in or I'm going to, burn a saint in my hand and become a member. Like they don't look at it like that. They look at it more of who we're going to do business with. Right. And so the modern cartels, they operate like, I always imagine Walmart with a paramilitary wing, to it. They're very business minded. And so they didn't want me to become a Walmart employee. They wanted me to become an affiliate company because I was getting things done efficiently for them. I was able to bring down the percentages that I was charging, because it was becoming more efficient. And so they give you more and more responsibility.
So they're not hiring an accounting department. They're bringing in Deloitte.
That's right.
To help you. All right, I got you.
These things are very compartmentalized.
See, it all comes back. I told you. We related it back. By the way, shout out to Brian today, filling in, unless he's out of town for the week. So thank you for doing this, my man.
Of course.
All right. I didn't have your mic on. You say that again.
Of course.
All right, cool. But doing a great job, by the way. But anyway, so you get in with this guy. You are now brought in as a subsidiary, partner, consultant, whatever, of the cartels. Who, what, without revealing exact cartel or exact people, what types of people do you start running with now? And do the outlines of your responsibilities or things you're asked to do start to increase / change?
It does change, and it changed in a way that was beneficial that we were hoping for. And that is the more responsibility you have with this, the less you hang out with like the cartel guys themselves. They want distance from this, right? And so I'm not like moving into this is just hypothetical to use something everybody knows, like hanging out with Swiss bankers and then like popping off to Guadalajara at the same time. I'm moving into a safer world where my access is better and trying to get away from that situation that, is more negative. But
was there a point where you started to feel, how do I want to say this? Like now that you're there and you're trying to get that, you actually do have that distance built in. You now can essentially travel alone to a lot of places and have an excuse to do it, be it Switzerland or, I don't know, Hungary or something like that. So now, like, I guess the question is, before this point, had you not been able to do as much of the actual, like, CIA stuff because you were trying to now establish a big cover again?
You're exactly right.
All right, so now you're able to do that.
Right. The more they're minding you, the more that they're trying to vet you and make sure that you can handle responsibility on your own when you're going through that phase, it's very hard to break away, right? Once I ended up in a point where I have no boss, no supervision, now we've got some flexibility to work with. And then all you need to do is make sure that you can answer the questions of what happened to you every single day when you were away, when you come back, which is where that memory embedding approach.
So you would do that kind of thing. You'd go to Paris with Shawnee or something to go to a restaurant and be like, okay, we're here in La Boucher. All right, great.
Yep.
Got it. Picture on the wall.
Yep. Noting things. The tablecloth is this color. They were serving, this dish. And you're paying attention to those things so that you can recall it later.
Now, you had said last time that over the course of your, 15, give or take years doing this kind of thing, you didn't have a lot of access with your family. And your family even thought maybe you abandoned them because you couldn't tell them like what you were really doing. Mm-hmm. But I'm almost now surprised because it would seem like now you've got yourself in a position where you kind of could step out and do that back in your personal life. Did you stay away from doing that because you didn't want to get, creative vulnerability or something like that?
Yeah, definitely.
You thought you could be being watched all the time?
Yeah, there were two different sides to it. One, I think I said last time, it was easier for me to stay in my persona than it was to hop in and out and try to have that other side of it. It was easier for me. But also, you always think when you're leaving that bubble, that operational bubble, am I dragging something bad, with me? And when it comes to stuff like family and the people that I was dealing with, it's just better not to try.
But when you were in the biker gang, you were like a rock star and whatever, because it was more like you're constantly with the group, you're with the organization, you're at the strip clubs,
Whole different vibe.
Whole different vibe.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of like your own one cell man subsidiary in a way. Sometimes you go and meet with people, but the whole point is very similarly to intelligence. The job is having people not know who you are at all times. So you're not really, you're not walking around with like the big dick you did in the previous career with the biker gang at all.
No, it transitions completely. I mean, there still is some of that because of the level of money, that I was dealing with. And so when you are living at that level, I was moving quite a bit of money at this time. And I wasn't, doing that and then staying at the Holiday Inn Express, when I was done. I was living the life of an extremely wealthy person at the time. And so you get a little of the rock star from wealth, obviously, but in a very different way. It's not the respect way, that was the same as before, where people are like afraid of you or want to be with you. It was more of just what came with the money at that point.
How would they pay you? Cash and then you got to launder it?
It depends. Now so much of it could be like the Bitcoin, which became huge.
And your bank account that you put that in that was under your name, it's like CIA owns that bank account essentially.
Sure. Anything that was like an operational use, something the U.S. government has.
So when it's done, you don't get to keep it.
No. I wish.
So they get extra taxpayer money.
I wouldn't have taken.
You got to stay.
I wouldn't have been taking the train up here if I had kept all the money from that.
Hey, listen, you changed my flight, so I did get him a flight in here.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks. They should kind of let you keep some of that. I got used to the lifestyle. It's like when you go to divorce a woman, she got used to the lifestyle. She gets 50%.
I love the way you think. I think we should reopen this can of worms with them.
Mad Dog, come on, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, there's stuff I got to take, from it. I had a 6-figure wardrobe. I got to.
All right, so you got to keep that.
Oh, yeah.
What are you wearing right now?
This is bespoke. Yeah.
Everything's custom on this one.
Okay. All right. So were you wearing this when you were making deals with the cartels?
Not this one, no.
Not that one?
No.
The bloodstained one outside.
Right.
That, by the way, I don't know what's in your bag. There has to be a body in there. That thing's fucking 100 pounds. I mean, they didn't let you on a flight with that.
Yeah.
Who'd you pay off?
I mean, we've been talking about this for a while. There are ways around these things.
What is in that?
It's just clothes.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's beauty products.
Clothes wrapped
beauty
up.
products.
Clothes wrapped up with bricks of cocaine, maybe?
Yeah, various accoutrement.
Okay. All right. So you live in this lifestyle, because again, it's different. You're kind of on your own island in a way. You still have the corporate cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you go into an office, you're going on the road for business, right? For actual legit stuff.
Right, which is now what the banker thinks my cover is.
Yeah.
So he thinks I'm hiding the cartel stuff, and everybody else thinks, and I'm hiding this over here. Very much like a magic trick.
You're so layered,
It's
too.
like dating a bunch of women at the same time. Like, how do you keep your story straight?
It's amazing.
It's fucking exhausting, bro.
And you were saying you don't keep long-term relationships or anything. You're a hit it and quit it kind of guy.
You gotta be.
Right?
Right, these days.
Yeah.
These days.
I told you we were going to get an education today. But, I don't know. I'm just trying to picture it. Do you live pretty much like they talk about with spying? It's not the exciting movies or anything. It's like you're boring, boom, boring, and so on. So is that your life in the sense that, you get up, you work out like everyone else, you fucking go to the office, you say hi to Candace at the front. All right, ask her if she got your coffee ready, start doing the actual real work, make some calls like you're important around the world, get the bills paid, go home, and then, make sure you make the call to the cartel to check in?
Absolutely.
That's your day.
Yeah, you're trying to be as normal as possible, even in ways that are purposely mundane at times, just to look as normal as you possibly can. And one of the things I was talking to Dr. Ken, the guy called the Spy Whisperer, about is in the knock world, one of the traits that you have to have is the ability to endure long periods of loneliness, or it will drive you completely crazy.
Did it bother you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're social creatures. You know, I like being around people. Part of why I'm good at what I did is that I enjoy interacting with people. And so when those relationships have to go away, you know, that you feel that for sure.
Forgetting your real relationships, though, now moving to all the relationships you are making, being social, doing this at a corporate level and a legal level, and then even, you know, with your back office people at CIA who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You know, it's not real. You know, the social interaction is fake. It's not, I would imagine even though you're in character, you're not getting the same true, I don't know, oxytocin release or whatever that we would normally get when you're making real relationships, like with your family or your actual friends, right?
I have to disagree with that. I got the same emotional response from doing this that I have with anybody else in my life.
So you really lived it.
You have to. It has to be real, or people can tell that you're faking it.
But you still go home to your own place at night, right?
No, my persona at this time, that is my place. There is no difference between my personal and this.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is you're going home alone. You're not married. You don't have kids or anything.
Right.
You're living this life where that's not on the table, right? You know, occasionally some girl at the downstairs bar is going to get lucky, but we all know that's not like fulfillment. I mean that seriously. It's not like fulfillment to you in a way.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
One of my one quote I've always been fascinated with is I heard it in Boardwalk Empire for the first time, but I think he was quoting someone, like someone else said it. The hardest thing for a man to do is sit alone in a room with nothing but his thoughts and be okay.
I could not agree more with that. And especially having since left it, that's something that I struggle with now. Like after leaving the work, like to just sit in a quiet room by myself is not my happy place. Like I'd rather like go out somewhere where I've got the energy of people around me and stuff. That has definitely carried with me after that job.
Is it because of all the shit you know, essentially? Like how the world really works?
No, I think it's more just where my brain feels comfortable after having done it for so very long. Like my brain's natural resting happy place is not to just sit by myself anymore.
Right. Constantly plotting, thinking.
Yeah,
okay. And now you don't have
gone.
that.
Right.
You have it at like a consulting level, but it, you know, that's like going from NASCAR to fucking driving on the back road.
So it's actually the work, like doing the consulting work and stuff is when, you know, I'm dealing with these topics again is when like now my brain's back in the happy place.
You feel something, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not life and death. You can't fake that feeling.
Right. Yeah. You're trading, you know, heroin for a smoking habit. You
right.
know,
that's a good way to put it.
It's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. And the brain is going to try to compensate, you know, for that. And you got to fight that off, right? Or else it's going to subconsciously put you in situations that you don't need to be in. And I saw when I first got out that was a potential downfall for me is, you know, searching out similar type rushes like a drug. And got to be cognizant of that and fight it off.
Were there potential temptations that came in that were totally illegal that you wanted to fill that void with? You don't have to say what they were, but if so.
No, not really. No.
Then is it like what kinds of things, if you don't mind saying?
I think that getting to the point of having that level of interaction with people can be addictive. Also, being around danger became addictive for me as well. So you just feel like, it's boring. You know, I can't really hype up to pay attention to it unless there's some element of that to it. You know, it's almost like venturing into fetishes and stuff, you know, like you're getting away from the vanilla side of it. And, you know, you can't go from, you know, partying at the Playboy Mansion to as vanilla as possible right after that. You're going to say like, I don't like this anymore. I'm used to something else.
Yeah, you were saying last time you were giving examples of like, you kind of feel a place like, oh, that place feels cool. And in the back of your mind, you know it's dangerous. You go into that bar and then shit's going down and you're like, fuck, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.